Nathan, NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cops watching, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, nope, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Morning, everyone, and welcome back to the last honest place, at least in these United States. This is the Nathan Ivy Show. My name is Nathaniel Ivy. Welcome. Yeah, it's my father's middle name. Good morning. Well, not take that back. It's my father's first name. Good morning, everybody. Look, my plan is simple. I plan to pull the prophylactic off the microphone and give it to you straight raw this morning for the next 2 hours. This is Safe Talk Radio, by the way. If you would like to, test the limits of a dangerous force, 513-873-7134. This is the most dangerous show in Cincinnati. As this show grows, we change the paradigm. The paradigm is shifting in the new millennia anyway to the digital space. And we are digital pioneers here on the Nathan Ivy Show. All the daily digital shows that come after this show will be just that. They come after this show. We make history every single day that we broadcast. Whether people want to look at it that way, whether people recognize it or not, I recognize it. Hopefully you do as well. We are riding the wave of the future. This show is about the future. The Nathan Ivy Show, I am a futurist. I like to talk about what's going to happen next, preparing for things that may be on the horizon. But of course, listen, I love to talk about current events as well. And today I plan to do just that. Local, regional, national, cultural. Does Oprah have a problem with black men? I'm now up on it. 50 Cent and others have criticized her because she's got a new documentary coming out in which she focuses on just black men, no Harvey Weinstein or anything like that. And now 50 Cent, among other people, have been calling her out. I throw it out there to get your thoughts that may or may not be on your radar screen. The University of Cincinnati board has voted to strike a slave owner's name from the college. Charles McMicken was a slave owner. Good white folks from back in the day here in the Cincinnati area in Virginia. And his name is on the College of Arts and Sciences. My question is UC doing enough to make sure that the campus, that the UC culture is conducive to black students, to African American students, to students of color? You know what I'm saying? So for me, if the University of Cincinnati in 2019 is just making the decision to remove Charles McMicken's name, what else are they slow on? What else are they 10, 15, 20 years behind on? You follow me? This is all cool and all, but I'm wondering ultimately, what is the University of Cincinnati willing to do? Because it's got to be more than just removing Charles McMicken's name off of the Arts and Sciences building, B. It's got to be more than that. But here's where it gets a little complicated, because they're going to remove his name from the College of Arts and Sciences, but his name is still going to be prominent in other campus buildings and around the campus. So what the ham sandwich is the point? UC needs to be called out on a bull shizzle. Speaking of bull shizzle, tonight, 7 p.m., Cutting Through the BS podcast. Be there. Social media, send digital media, and the Cutting Through the BS podcast Facebook group, Facebook page. Join the crew. Fast Pitch, Clue Magic, Cutting Through the BS. I wonder if they'll talk about this. I don't know. But somebody needs to cut through the BS on this. You're gonna remove Charles McMicken's name from the university, from Arts and Sciences, but he's still going to be in other places on the campus. What's the point? They should wipe his name away all in one black swoop. That's what they should do. Anything less is racist in a motherfucker. Period. Oh, damn. Sorry. Tanika, sorry. I'm just all in my adulthood. Listen, I couldn't wait to become an adult. I love being grown. Love it. I love it. Trust me. And all the pleasures like cursing. I love all of it. Being real. This is, now they had to put together a task force to do this. They put together this big task force. We've talked about it. I've been following this. I graduated from the University of Cincinnati. Got my degrees over there. And picked up a black woman at the same time. Yummy. Ah, man. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But sometimes I sit and wish I was a kid again. Not a kid, but college age? Man. I could do 30 minutes flows, but I will not, because it will be boring. And women, my female listeners, will not like me afterward. You'll like me less. Some of y'all can't fucking stand me now. I know it. But I'm glad you're here, though. Thank you for listening. Can somebody help me make this make sense for me, please? McMicken owned slaves, Charles McMicken, that is, and stipulated that the college created should serve white students only. So Charles McMicken owned slaves, made an endowment, allowed the university to put the university on his land, and he did it because he wanted to educate good white boys and girls. Like, end quote. And so isn't there a sense of comeuppance in the fact that people like me were able to go on that campus and graduate and get educated? Is there some comeuppance in that? I think so. Maybe. See, let me see. I'm trying to read through here and get what you might think is interesting. McMicken was a wealthy landowner in Cincinnati who also owned several plantations in Louisiana. He even fathered children with his slaves, which means he raped. What the fuck you mean? I'm sorry. What you mean fathered? You mean he raped his slaves? That's what he did. More than likely. Let me see. Oh, man. Interesting. You see, he died of pneumonia in 1858 and bequeathed land worth roughly $1 million to the city of Cincinnati so that the college, quote unquote, for white boys and girls could be established. Oh, man, he was pro-education. Charles McMicken cared about education of white boys and girls. So I think they should wipe his name from any record, actually, from the university. The university should back away, disavow themselves from his evil actions. I mean, because let's call it what it is. Don't call it slavery. Let's say, instead of slave owner, let's say evil. This was evil. And I think that, again, to do anything less of me is just uncivilized, as the commercial goes. I know you agree with me, right? 513-873-7134. In perhaps lesser news, but maybe it's more relevant to you, anybody watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta? They got an interesting storyline going on with one of the stars. Her name is Portia Williams. She used to be married to Cordell Stewart, old big head Cordell Stewart. That man had a big old head, head so big he got to use a tire for a headband, that kind of head. And it didn't work out for whatever reason. And now her storyline is that, she has this new fiance who cheated on her while she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And apparently the episode aired last night. So the internet's been tearing it up ever since because they had a therapy session. What's your thoughts on therapy for couples? Do you think that couples should go through therapy, like, not when you have a problem, but per se, you should have like a therapy, like, that you see like almost like a dentist or like a general practitioner or something like that, like your family doctor. I think people do that, but they do it like more in a black people I'm talking about. I think they do it more in a spiritual sense. Like, we go to church together. We have any problems, we're going to go to the pastor. The pastor will give us counsel and stuff like that. How many married people if you're married or you were married, did you ever go through like couples counseling before you got married? I don't know, but they're doing couples therapy because he cheated on her and now they're not working. And the relationship is not working. And a lot of people have been making a big deal out of, what dentist, they call him delusional dentist. That's her fiance, black man. But, I guess maybe to look at him, he may not be what people would expect for her to be like. He's not tall. He ain't particularly, I don't know what attractive is in a man or women. Women have to tell me that. So I could be completely off course here right now. Right. But they seem like a little bit of an odd couple. I'll just put it that way. I could be wrong. I'm just saying it. So a couple things here. Number one, some people would look at this Portia Williams woman and say she's very attractive. Okay. And it just goes to show you that it doesn't really matter what a woman looks like. If a man wants to cheat or if his cheating is in him, that's what he's going to do. And I think in the modern day era, people cheating is really a problem for two reasons. Number one, you're breaking your bond, if that's important to you. And number two, you are opening yourself up to sexually transmitted diseases and you're not telling the other person who might be unwittingly having unprotected sex with you and can become infected with something. I think of all of the things, that's like at the top of the list in terms of, the betrayal. It's one thing to put your body at risk for a climax. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. We all make that risk. We've done that as individuals, single individuals, probably, right? But to do that and then put somebody else in jeopardy because you want to have some fun, I think that's a bridge too far. That's a real bridge too far. That's a real problem right there. That's a real problem. Not to say anything about the betrayal and all this kind of stuff, but his reasons shifted. He said, I had postpartum depression. So his depression led him to cheating. You believe that? I think there's something to that. I think there's something to that. I can understand that. But the internet did not. I throw it out there. We may get into it more. We may not. 513-873-7134. If you would like to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear them. Last night, all over the country and in the city of Cincinnati, you had, I guess, in total, thousands of people that hit the streets ahead of what's going to happen today. So today, the big expectation in the world of politics is that, we're going to have more movement when it comes to the impeachment inquiry of the president, Donald Trump, who spent all last night tweeting, this is a witch hunt, trying to do what he does on Twitter. But there were about a few dozen people that came together last night in downtown Cincinnati, and they were a part of the Impeach Trump movement. There was a Trump impeachment rally on Fountain Square last night. I'm looking at the images. I was not down there. And as I look at the images here, there wasn't a whole lot of black people down there. I see a lot of white folks. And I think it was because of the weather. I think he was looking. I'm looking at the crowd right now, and I'm on Cincinnati.com, and I don't see any black people in the crowd at all. And I think it's because of the weather. That's what I think it was. See, I'm looking for any black faces. I'm sure there were some black people in downtown Cincinnati last night. I'm sure there was. I just don't see any of them in the images that have been put out so far. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Here's another one. Let me see here. Yeah, it's too cold. Blackfoot was like, you know what? Let's be practical. We ain't got man, it's cold. Yeah. We want to impeach him too, but we'll do it from the comfort of our home. We have to work tomorrow. All that kind of stuff, man. I thought it was quite interesting. But thousands of people across the nation, they got out, they rallied, they went to the public squares in their respective cities and states, and they were trying to, have this public moment, urging their respective Congress, representatives from Congress, to vote to impeach Donald Trump. And that could happen later today. I've also read that Mitch McConnell is going to try to fast track this. So it's something to look for if you're going to be an impeachment watcher. Look and see if the Republicans are successful in making this process as fast as possible. And that's because the outcome is inevitable, unavoidable, and really not that hard to imagine. And that will be that the largely Republican Senate will vote to not impeach, not to convict, so to speak, Donald Trump. That's already been written. So the Democrats have to know this as well. So the other thing is that I think if you're the Democrat Party, you would like this to stretch out as long as you possibly can. You want this shit to stretch out to if they could stretch this out to October of next year, that'd be great. That'd be great. But the Republicans want to get this over as fast as possible. So look for them to try to fast track the witness process. They're going to do whatever they can to get this get this process done, right? So we can get it done, get beyond it, and then focus on the 2020 election. And if in fact it goes that way, who benefited from this process? Will this backfire on the Democrats? I don't know, but I throw it out there for your possible conversation pleasure this morning. 513-873-7134. So that gives you the crux of what I'd like to discuss this morning. Hopefully those are topics or that you can get into. If there are things on your radar screen that you think should be discussed or you want to bring up this morning, please feel free to do so. Please feel free to do so. You've got the number. You can also join the Chop Shop, which is the chat room attached to my Spreaker account. To my folks listening on YouTube, or perhaps you want to tune in, that's the way you can do it. You can go to nathanivey.com. At the very, very top of my website, you're going to see the what they call a media player. You'll see like an image of whatever today's podcast artwork is, along with the headlines. If you click on that, boom, it'll take you to the Chop Shop, just like that. And you can join all these great people in here, and we can chop it up this morning. Very simple. You can also go on Facebook, Friends Who Like the Nate Show and the Nathan Ivey Show, and you can join the conversation there. You can post a link there as well. All right. Very simple. Angela writes, salutations to you, Angela. Brenda writes, happy Wednesday. I know I sound very congested. I'm still, under the weather, but it is what it is. The show goes on. Hold on. I see my man, John from Princeton's calling in. Hey, John, I'm about to go into a break, man. Yo, John. Yeah, call me back. Yes. All right. Thanks. John's a good sport, man. Stop hating on John. We'll take a quick break, get a word from our sponsor, get a word on the Bloomberg Urban Report, a little bit of update on news, and we'll come back and we'll talk about people, politics, and pleasure. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal, powered by Sin Digital Media, a new urban voice in the city of Cincinnati.
Report. I'm Donna Wilson. In business news, we all know that funding is a major stumbling block for new entrepreneurs, but less than 1% of VC dollars are invested with Black and Latino businesses. But according to Black Enterprise, there are several VC funds aimed at supporting underrepresented entrepreneurs. They include Harlem Capital Partners, Kapor Capital, Intel Capital, Backstage Capital, and GE Ventures. In other news, the Huffington Post Black News reports a major Jewish denomination is voting to support reparations for slavery. The Union for Reformed Judaism is calling for a study on reparations to redress the continuing effects of slavery and systemic racism against Black Americans. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicides, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass. Free Comfsy lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
Yeah, hi. I think I found your kid's stuffed animal near the swing set. Just want to call. I'm sure she misses it.
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off. The toy was a little muddy, so I cleaned it up, and it's good to go whenever you're around.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger and give all of our kids the meals they need to grow. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
A brand new digital day. Good morning. Welcome back. Two Cincinnati Council members, David Mann and Greg Landsman, on Monday proposed extending by 3 months a key part of the 1999 agreement with the Cincinnati Public Schools that governs how the city offers tax abatements to developers. You know, it's been a big issue here locally. For 90 days, Mann and Landsman would have council continue to require developers to make payments in lieu of property taxes or pilots when the city abatements property taxes on the value of improvements made to land or buildings in the city. In the meantime, they want a third party to review how abatements affects CPS's bottom line. A suggestion the district so far has resisted. Is that true? Is that true? Let me see. See where we go here. Okay, today developers pay 25 or 27% of the total millage on abated properties in CPS, depending on the type of abatement. Under Landsman and Mann's idea, payments would continue, but the city would not extend or prorate another part of the agreement. A $5 million annual lump sum payment from the city to the district that covers the difference between what the developer payments are and what the district actually would be owed in property taxes. Well, I go back to the suggestion of a study. I am interested on how abatements affect CPS. I think that would be valuable. What do you think? 513. CPS is Cincinnati Public Schools. 513-873-7134. This is, while we're worldwide through the internet, the World Wide Web, I am based in Greater Cincinnati area, and we talk a lot about Cincinnati politics, including the fact that the Cincinnati Police Department has open registration. And I'm going to drop a link for you right now inside the Chop Shop, and there's various links on my Facebook page, the show page, the Friends page, and soon to be sent digital media page as well, and you can check it out for yourself. Follow that link. Have you ever considered a career in law enforcement? If so, this could be your opportunity. Some of the requirements: must have a valid license, must be eligible to work in the United States, and must be at least 21 years of age upon the completion of the 28-week training academy. Have you ever thought about a career in law enforcement? Do you know anyone who has ever talked about it? My interest is real simple. I think living in Cincinnati, being an African-American man living in Cincinnati, a black man in this city, I believe that we need officers that come from our communities, come from our experience, and I mean geographically, from the Cincinnati area. Now, you may or may not know this, but to become a Cincinnati police officer, you do not have to live in Cincinnati. You don't even have to live in Hamilton County, but you do have to live in one of the adjacent counties. So the link I'm dropping for you right now has information about almost any question you could possibly have, including the various evaluations, not just the physical fitness evaluations, but psychological evaluations. What are some of the reasons why people fail? I'm getting it all for you in one link, and you can check it out for yourself. All right? Yes. It's a beautiful day. Now, later on today, you've got the Cutting Through the BS podcast, Clue Magic and Fast Pitch. They'll be cutting through the BS on a multitude of issues, social, local, maybe even political. And you can watch that podcast stream from the Cutting Through the BS podcast page and also the Send digital media page. You can cut through the podcast. You can cut through the BS real quick. And I'm sure you'll fall in love with the crew very, very quickly. Please check that out. I know what you're thinking. Where's that link at, Nick? I got it for you. Hold on one second. I got it for you. Boom, there it is. I'm going to put it inside the Chop Shop right now so you can check it out. Hold on. You can check it out for yourself. We got John on the line. John, hold on for 1 second, man. Hold on 1 second. Tracy writes, Alicia Reese racks up another endorsement. Woodlawn Mayor. Yeah. Alicia Reese knows how to do this thing. I would say that she knows how to do the running for office thing, right? She's good at it. So it's going to be a very interesting race. Very interesting. Also, let me post a link for you, if I haven't already done it, for the Sunday Connect Circle, if you're interested. I'm sorry, for the Train the Trainer, which I got some feedback. Like, people have responded to my post, and somebody responded saying that they had gone through it and that, hey, she said good things about it. It's great. This could be a great opportunity for you. So let me give you what the schedule will be, and this will be tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Doors are going to open at 5 p.m. And for about an hour, they're going to do a business connection hour. From 6 to 6:50 p.m., there's going to be a dinner reception. And from 6:50 to 9:30 p.m., Train the Trainer Masterclass. And everyone will receive a free training manual and for being a part of it. And let me drop this link for you if you are interested. I want to make it as easy as possible for you to find the information, boom, that you might be looking for. So there it is. And I'm trying to catch up with Mr. Charlie Wimber himself to bring him on the show so he can talk directly about what you can expect. And perhaps today or tomorrow you can hear that conversation. Yeah, I know you're like, Nate, you sound strange. I'm completely congested. It is what it is. All right? But I'm still functional. Angela writes, salutations. Brenda writes, happy Wednesday. Sissy Tigress writes, morning. Sharp writes, morning. Tracy writes, hi. Muzone writes, what up, choppers? The Mason Marlin writes, morning, Nate and the choppers. Hashtag impeach the peach. That's hilarious. Maury's wig. Which Maury is that? Writes, don't buy wigs that come off at the wrong time, choppers. We are opening a new store in Cincinnati on Westwood Northern Boulevard. Jimmy doesn't like my commercial, but he owes my $500,000. Hashtag alt middle. I'm trying to follow that one. As I said, we have John on the line. John, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as good people around the world. And yes, those happy choppers.
Yes.
Yes.
Very
sure.
happy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're happy. Yeah. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing excellent.
Great. Before we get to this farce of an impeachment, if you want to call it that, or circus, or an acting performance for the Republicans as well as the Democrats, before we get to that, I'm sure you've chimed in already about Barack Obama the other day, making his statements, talking to a reporter, and chiming in on how he thinks a woman, leading a woman candidate, first he chimed in saying it's time for the old fogies to step aside. I guess he's throwing Vice President Biden and Bernie off to the curb, saying, you guys need to step to the side. Your time is over with, in so many few words, where you're hearing it from John. But he puts it a different type of way, but I read between the lines. And I think he feels it's time for a woman to take on leadership in dealing with this country. How many times I keep saying it's Elizabeth Warren? So for all you Elizabeth Warren haters that don't want to see a woman go in there, it is her time. So you can forget about Biden, his baggage. You can forget about Bernie. He's been there too long. Both of those guys in their 70s or 80s, go away. Just go away, go away, go away. So, it is going to be Elizabeth Warren, the main candidate, unless something mysteriously happens between now and November. Let's face it, it's time for a woman. I don't have a problem with that. It's whoever her vice president candidate is. We don't know that by now. But I would like to see all women's ticket, women president and a woman vice president. I think we can't be no more worse than what the assholes this country historically has had for over 300 years. Every president in this 300 years has been a male and has never been a female. If you look around the world, there are about, I think, somewhere from 5 to close to 10 female presidents around the world. And this country has not had it. And I'm listening to some women across the country over the last 4 or 5 months. I don't want to see a woman in there. Shut up. Just shut up. I guess you want to keep the foolishness going in this country. But let's see how this plays off. Once again, we have a good 5, 6, 7 years. But, more months to go, and let's see how it plays out. But I'd like to hear your comments on Barack Obama's comments.
Well, I'm not aware of his comments. I guess I missed that, so I don't really have any thoughts on it.
Well, it went viral over the last 2 days across the media. I'm surprised they even covered it, but it did go viral. And he made a statement. I get the impression what he made is he's not down with Vice President Biden and the dirt. People don't like it that Giuliani is running over to these foreign countries collecting millions of dollars of loot. He's in trouble too. We'll get into Giuliani another day. That's the former mayor of New York, a corrupt devil. That's what he is. We'll deal with him another day. But Giuliani's making tons of money, but Giuliani is digging up the dirt on Biden and his son. We kind of know some of that stuff. But, often I said to people, let Trump run his mouth, because he tells on his party, he tells on himself, and he tells on the Democrat. We see this country for what it is. It's nothing new to John from Princeton, but some of you have blinders on, but you're seeing the presidency for what it is. You're seeing the presidency for what it is.
I'm looking at it now. Okay, so Obama suggests nations would improve across the board with women in control.
Yes.
And, okay. I mean, I've been saying something very similar for a long time. He says women are indisputably better world leaders than men.
Well, what do you think about that?
Let's talk about it for a second. What do I think about? I'm thinking about like the various jobs I've had where the position that I was in at that moment reported to like a male supervisor and a female supervisor. And I think we generalize things a lot, but I think it really comes down to the individual, quite honestly. Because I've had situations where I had, male supervisors and I thought they were bad leaders. I thought they were bad at that job. I'm like, how did he get this job? And then I've had the situation where I thought they were good. And the same thing with female leadership. Like I've had female supervisors and I thought, okay, I can do this. And then I've had it where it's like, nah, this ain't working. So I think it comes down, we like to generalize things. What did he say? What makes women indisputably better leaders? Did he talk more about that? Can you recall that at all?
I just I read the outtakes and I heard a couple of media contents that talked about the statements that you just made. And I read between the lines. I think what Barack Obama is saying, it's time for change. We can't keep going down this foxhole and repeating these same mistakes on the Republicans and Democrats side.
Right. I'm down with that.
I think the Republicans see it too. That's why, Nikki, what's her name out of Louisiana?
Haley.
They're kind of throwing her out there. I don't know where that's going to go, but they're throwing her out there too.
Hopefully it goes nowhere.
She's the darling in that state, and a lot of blacks have been backing her a little bit here and there. Yeah, a lot of African Americans have been backing her. If you follow her track record there, and when she was governor of that state, she had the support of the African American community across the board on the Democrat side as well as the Republican side. So I think somehow, some kind of way, even if Trump gets reelected, it's going to be some pressure from him for him to make her a part of that cabinet if he gets back in there.
Really? Okay.
And I think she's not going away no time soon. I think she's a darling on the Democrat side as well as the Republican side, as quietly as it has been kept. So, and who's to say Elizabeth Warren? Let's just face it. Republicans and Democrats, sometimes they cross the board and grab somebody from the other side and make them a part of the team or a part of the cabinet. So that is a possibility that might happen too. So keep an eye on her. But Elizabeth Warren, I sense and see, I've been sensing it for a while, since last year. This is her time. I think the only way she's going to mess this up if something mysteriously happened, Trump will throw all the dirt out there, but he's going to have to debate with her. And when it's time to debate, all she got to do is stay calm. So to get back to the question, it's a lot of emotional, physical. Can a woman hold that position and deal with these world leaders?
Absolutely.
Deal with the mess here in this country?
Absolutely.
Can a woman stand up, build the right, strong cabinet, and make it happen?
Absolutely, a woman can, with no doubt, 100%. 100%.
Well, we will see, because if it is Elizabeth Warren debating with this rat in the White House, his pattern. He's going to be yelling, screaming, spitting, calling all kind of names. All she's got to do is stay calm, stay smart, talk about the issues, let him show himself for what he is, a buffoon and a rat. And hopefully some people on the Republican side will shift over. But the other problem of this is, as we talked about yesterday, with the purging of the votes in Georgia and other states that nobody's talking about, that's going to happen, as well as the hacking into the voting system. That's going to happen too.
Oh,
so
boy.
Republicans,
I don't know what you mean, the hacking into the voting system. I don't know if that's been corroborated with evidence, but maybe it has, and I just missed it.
If you look at the 2018 election in North Carolina, they've locked up a couple of Republicans that allowed hacking to happen in that state. As quietly as that was kept, MSNBC talked about it for a while, and that is going to. If it happened in North Carolina, trust me, it's happened across the country. I'm not a fan of electronic voting because I think it can easily be hacked into, and you can move votes or delete votes or take votes.
You're not a fan of paper voting either, are you? You're not a fan of paper voting, are you?
Well, explain to me, on electronic voting, what mainstream computer system does all of these votes go to? Nobody can even give you an answer.
I can't tell. I'm sure you can look it up and find out who is in charge of the voting machines. But, John, I got to make a move, man. Appreciate the call.
Well, okay, and we didn't get a chance to talk about, but we'll get into it later. Another day. No problem. All right, have a good day.
Take it easy. Appreciate John. Hey, man, I talked my head off. I know it's a talk show, but damn, appreciate the flows. Oh, what is this? Damn, somebody's eating good this morning. I'm on Facebook. Good morning to you. That man. We'll find out what happens. We'll find out what happens with this whole impeachment thing because the Republicans, Jeff Flake is urging Republicans to vote to impeach Donald Trump and to, quote unquote, save their souls. I just saw it on one of my Facebook friends' page. What is this? It's just sad. It's just sad. And the Republicans are not going to do that. Why would they do this? Why would they shoot their own party in the foot? Now, if in Trump's base, Trump lovers, they're not going to stop loving him. Yesterday, I played a clip for you of some people who said that if he was impeached, it's not going to happen. One dude said because he got a .357 Magnum. He said, my .357 Magnum tells me he's not going to get impeached. So you got a talking gun, huh? He's got a talking gun. He said, my .357 Magnum tells me he's not going to be impeached. Oh, really? How often do you talk to your gun? How often do you talk to your gun? It's nutso out here. It really is. Nobody is above the law, they shouted last night at the impeachment rally in downtown Cincinnati and at other rallies around the country. At about 7:10 p.m., about 200 people gathered, signs in hand, bundled in coats and hats and scarves, sniffling and coughing and sneezing. But they had to get out here I'm looking at some of these, I love political signs. Impeach and remove. Defend democracy. I love impeachment signs. I love political signs. Not impeachment signs, but political signs. I will say that women make the best political signs. When they had the Women's March in Cincinnati, their signs were so creative. Did Obama bring that up? Said, not a dictatorship. Here's one. Trump is not above the law. There's no black representation whatsoever in the crowd. Black folks is like, look, man, where was you on reparations? That's what black folks are. Where was you on reparations? It's too damn cold to be out there, man. That is hilarious. There's not one black face in the crowd, y'all. I scanned it all this morning trying to find one. Oh, I take it back. Oh, I found a brother. I found one brother. Who is this brother? I found one brother in the back, y'all. Hey, what's going on, Drop? Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Mr. Ivy, thank you for having me, sir. Oh, man, you got me rolling over here, Mr. Ivy. I told you, black folks, when they pockets is fat and they got jobs and they eating good, they ain't got time for no rallies, Nate. They ain't got time for no protesting, And Mr. Ivy, tonight, right on schedule, the first Orange president will be holding a fake impeachment after party / rally in my beautiful home state of Michigan, where Ford announced the other day that they're opening new factories, I think 3 of them. Mr. Ivy, your humor at the lack of black faces at those fake AstroTurf protests that happened across America last night. Mr. Ivy, I'm telling you, the Democrat Party, they are worse off than the Republicans were in 2016, Nate. And again, we predicted it. I will give you credit, Mr. Ivy. You have been consistent ever since the Mueller report came out. When that whole thing came out, Mr. Ivy, you all of a sudden, I'm not going to say all of a sudden, I'll take that back, but you became clear in your analysis of the Democrat Party. And the fact that it aligned with your number one fan, me, Mr. Ivy, again, sir, why were there no black people
Well, there was
in
one black
Cincinnati?
person. There was one black person I found. There was a brother in the back.
Oh, they had that African American over there. You saw one. Nay, I saw other coverage of some of the other rallies, and it was consistent in the other places too. It's just, I'm telling you, Nate, the number one agenda for Black America since 1965 was jobs. Jobs, jobs, jobs. And Nate,
Yeah.
Donald Trump has receipts.
Oh,
Donald Trump has done in 3 years, Mr. Ivy, that the Democrat Party has not been able to do on a large scale. I'm not talking about the successful black people who have taken advantage of the opportunities and that were very successful. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the large number of black people that have not been lifted to the next level by following the Democrat Party. So, Mr. Ivy, 5 to 8 is all it takes. And the way it's looking right now, Trump may get by with maybe 5% of the black vote and beat the Democrats. Because how are they going to run against this economy, Nate? Please help me, sir.
Well, they're not. They're going to run against Trump.
But they can't.
They can.
How?
They can run against
Nate,
his corruption. They can run against his unorthodox way of doing things. They can run against the fact that he's being impeached now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
But Nate, the Democrats' record will be 0-4. No, I'll take that back. They'll be 3-1. The
3-1.
one victory that the Democrats have had against Donald Trump was the 2018 midterms. Everything else, Donald Trump has won. He's building the wall. He's strengthening the military. He's questioning foreign aid. He's increasing the economy. He's bringing the Americans in this country who didn't have anything to lose by voting for him. He's delivering for them. In his campaign, he asked for their vote because he said, what do you have to lose? And the people who believed in him and gave him the benefit of the doubt because they couldn't stand crooked Hillary, Nate, those people are going to show up and vote for him in 2020, or they're just going to stay at home and watch it on their big screen TV. Either way, the Democrat Party has a very, very difficult challenge ahead of them in 2020 because, Nate, the fact that he's having a fake impeachment after party / rally in the state of Michigan, where Ford announced they're building these new factories, and also Michigan is a battleground state, along with Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. You know the Midwest, Nate. You know all those voters who voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012. Those people who were told under the Obama administration that the recovery was going to be jobless. Those jobs will never come back. But, Nate, wages are up. Unemployment, record low. You ain't heard nothing mentioned about the Hispanic vote. But guess what, Nate? You know how they roll.
The deficit's higher than it's been in a long time. So the Democrats can run against that.
Nate, they just signed a $1.3 trillion spending bill to keep the government open until next September, Nate. Okay? So forget about the deficits. That's not an issue because Republicans and Democrats signed it. Donald Trump has changed the game, Nate. Okay? And again, just like the impact of Barack Obama's 8 years of the first black president, we don't know how that's going to impact the Democrat Party and their voters. Trump is doing the same thing with the Republican Party, but we don't know if he's going to get 2 terms or not. So, Mr. Ivey, thank you. I know it's at the top of the hour, and I appreciate you allowing me to drop these flows because my cargo bin is full. And Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace, where you at, Marla?
I'm going to go ahead and rack them. Good call. For Drop, that's a great call. I like the metaphor at the end, the flow. It's all good. Now, did you attend the University of Cincinnati? They got a little bit of an issue going on here because the Board of Trustees, the University of Cincinnati, has recently, after the recommendation of a task force that was put together by the University of Cincinnati President Neville Pinto, the UC Board of Trustees has voted unanimously to remove the name of a controversial slave owner from UC's College of Arts and Sciences. And here's a quote from the working group, right? It was a group of like faculty and staff and administrators. All folks came, maybe some community folks as well. And they came together. And here's a quote. The university's ennobling of McMicken by associating his surname with arts and sciences symbolizes the exclusion and unwelcome that African Americans experience in their relationships with UC and the university's failure to commit fully to the principles of diversity and inclusion that it professes. Damn. Rack 'em on that flow right there. In the 1970s, African-American students experiencing racism on campus, whether flagrant or subtle, pointed to McMicken and reminded each other that he didn't want you here. Their mentors, African-American fellow students, faculty members, administrators, and staff made it a point to pass on to them knowledge of McMicken's slaveholding and segregationist legacy. This McMicken legacy was seen as alive, manifested in an unwillingness or inability on UC's part to be supportive, inclusive, and welcoming without regard to race. Does that continue today? You know what I'm saying? They spent all this money. Like, so let me put it this way. Okay. While Cincinnati is roughly 43% black, African Americans comprise just 8.4% of UC student enrollment. So I don't think it's a stretch. Like, I don't think if somebody made this statement in public, feel me, I don't think it's a stretch. I think they would be backed up in their cynicism and in this question. And the question is we know that Charles McMicken bequeathed the land on which the University of Cincinnati was built, quote unquote, for good white boys and girls. He was a racist and didn't believe in, I'm sure, a lot of things that today we would say should be fundamental freedoms for all people, right? But here we are, 100 plus years after his death. And African American, we'll say black students comprise only 8.4% of students enrollment. It sounds like his legacy is alive and motherfucking, what time is it? It sounds like his legacy is alive and motherfucking well. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like, while people been talking all this jazz, the little jazz hands about race and diversity, it looks like his plan has been executed. I mean, so he bequeathed the land and said, we don't want no niggers. And at 8.4%, that ain't a whole lot of niggers. It's 100 plus years later. Why not? I mean, there should be some real questions that need to be answered. Why? And we're not even going to talk about Sam DuBose. We ain't even going to talk about Sam DuBose as we talk about, the slave owning ancestry of the land that the actual university was actually, you know what I'm saying? So what was Tensing? A modern day slave catcher? What was he? Plantation boss? Regulating the darkies? You won't even bring that up, though. But back to this. So Cincinnati is 43% African American, but only 8.4% of UC student enrollment. Well, maybe it's this way. Maybe a lot of students are graduating and they decided not to be here in the city of Cincinnati, want to go somewhere else. Could be. That could explain it. Seems awfully like, to me, it seems like, although Charles McMicken is supposed to be dead, the principles of the University of Cincinnati being largely an institution for white boys and girls statistically appears to be intact. And I remember talking with some of the university students a couple years ago. These folks have now graduated and now they're doing stuff in the community here. And they was talking about, just some of the unequal, the issues that was going on, complaints of racism, from other students, the way that UC police was dealing with it. Yeah. This was just a few years back. So it sounds like they might remove Charles McMicken's name, but his legacy that the university be for good white boys and girls is intact. Or maybe there's some other reasons that would, explain that. Overall, I'm reading that UC's minority enrollment is 21%. And these are statistics provided by the university itself. That if you follow the link, you can't follow the link anymore. It's not there. I don't know. This is interesting. See here. Yeah, that is very interesting. So we'll see. Apparently his name is still going to stay up on some other buildings. So again, ultimately, what's the point? That's what I don't understand. If you're going to do it the right way, which means completely. Why are you going to leave one person's name up? Or leave up McMicken's name on other buildings? Makes no sense. I mean, why has it got to be such a big deal to change the name of a damn building anyway? You just change it because you want to change it. And I don't think it's enough. Like, how do you decide? Who decides? Like, who do you have to be in order to get your name on a building on the University of Cincinnati? Do you have to be somebody who 100 years ago or 200 years ago bequeathed some land? Or can they decide they want to just do it over modern day heroes? So if you can just do modern day heroes, they need to rename the arts and sciences from the McMicken School of Arts and Science to, I don't know, you name it, fill a blank. Name it after somebody from the Cincinnati area that was big in education. Like, name it after Peter H. Clark Academy. Black man. You know what I'm saying? The time in which they thought it was a problem for black folks to get even educated, he was fighting a good fight here in the Cincinnati area. But maybe you have to be associated with the University of Cincinnati, or your family left some money, which is completely unfair because black people's financial legacy was stolen from them. And we all know it. It's quite interesting. We'll see what they do with that. We'll see. But it sounds like, from what I read from the report, that somebody knows what's going on. I thought it was some very insightful observations that I just read those bullet points to you from the task force. I don't know who wrote this, but somebody got some damn sense. It was very insightful. Very insightful. And I went to the University of Cincinnati. I was there mid to late 90s. So I felt all that too. Kinda. I was so caught up, man. I was so caught up. The women had me. I was too caught up. All I could do is just go to class. That's it. And see ferocity. What the hell? What in the hell? This Friday, Donnie B is going to be talking with Joe Gilbert. Joe Gilbert is an author and director, and he is the guy behind the Trayvon Martin hoax. He says that whole thing was a sham and that Zimmerman has been railroaded. And before you say, oh, this guy's like some kook, I mean, I've seen he was on the Today Show, I believe. He's been making the rounds. He's been in some serious media platforms. And his book, his work is what appears to be the provocation on some levels for George Zimmerman's $100 million lawsuit against the Trayvon Martin family and also the publishers of Benjamin Crump's book. And I think there's some other newspaper or something tied up in there as well, because they're alleging that one of the witnesses wasn't really a witness. And you can watch the trailer on a link that's on Sin Digital Media right now. You can watch the trailer and then listen to Donnie B in her interview on Friday at 12:30 p.m. Should be interesting. Should be interesting. A new study says that Cincinnati is number one city in the U.S. for beer drinkers. Yeah, and I don't know, but I will say that there's been a heavy investment in beer. Like, if you're a beer snob, I got a buddy who refers to himself as a beer snob. If you're someone who's into beer like that, man, Cincinnati's like a baby mecca for that. You get all these different breweries. The mayor said a year and a half ago that beer was saving and revitalizing Cincinnati. He might be right. He might be right. Now, you might not be into beer. I might not be into beer. But there's a lot of folks, a lot of young folks that love to go out. They bar hop. This past weekend was SantaCon. There's bars everywhere. Everywhere. Every day it seems like I drive past a new bar. They're everywhere. And that's because downtown Cincinnati is getting a reputation as a thriving spot. It's growing. And that's why all the conversations about, black-owned businesses being a part of that renaissance are all necessary. Does anybody know anybody that got the $20,000 so you could, subsidize, office space or whatever space in over the Rhine? And for me, $20,000 didn't seem like a whole lot of money. That's rent. That's your rent for a year. You know what I'm saying? That's just rent. When you could go to another neighborhood and maybe cut that in half. And maybe put 10 on the rent and 10 on scale. The study was conducted by a website called Smart Asset. And they looked at 5 key factors to find the top 10 cities in the United States for beer drinkers. This is important because while you might not be in beer, I guarantee you there's somewhere in America today, someone who's trying to make a decision as to where they're going to travel to, or maybe they're thinking about coming to Cincinnati for business or whatever. That shit right there will be appealing to them. What? We have all these different bars. We can go out, spend our money. Let me see. In last year's study, Cincinnati was the 4th best city for beer drinkers. But this year, the Queen City moved to the top spot. Researchers found Cincinnati has 30 total breweries and approximately 10 breweries per 100,000 residents. Now, let me stop right there. I had a very controversial flow. I'm sure that some people resisted it when I said that Cincinnatians love their drugs. Cincinnatians, and maybe this is people all over the world through all of the history and annals time. But what I've observed is Cincinnatians love to be outside. We love to be entertained, eating food, and doing drugs. Alcohol is a drug. Okay, I just want to make sure we know that. So we're talking about drugs here. Humans love drugs. We love to alter our state, eat good food, dance, and then go have sex. That's what we like to do. Stop me when I'm wrong. That's what we like to do. Let's see. The study found that Western and Midwestern state dominated the top 10. 2 of the cities are in Ohio. So there's 30 total breweries. How many of them are black owned or African American owned? I'm very interested. Let me see here. Oh man, so that's a great number 1, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, Ohio takes first place in our study, moving up from 4th last year. Who paid them off? It ranks within the top 25% of the study for all 5 metrics we considered. In particular, it has top 20 rates for total number of breweries at 30, breweries per 100,000 residents at approximately 10, and average number of beers per brewery at approximately 103. The average price of a pint in Cincinnati is $4. Telling you, that's why it's so key about as we move forward and make decisions about the future of Cincinnati. Okay? Because for me, it ain't enough just to live. What is the ability for you to prosper if you're born in the city of Cincinnati? Because people are prospering. People making money in this city. They're making money in this city. They're not talking about it. You got underground clubs coming to Cincinnati. Underground clubs. You got everybody, these breweries coming up with their own different blend. I'm telling you, it's a lot of money being made here. It's being a lot of money. The mayor is right. Beer is saving it. And with it, it's spurring a lot of development. For these little condos, man, these developers can't find the land and put the shit up fast. They can't do it fast enough. Where is that? In Mount Auburn? Have you been to Mount Auburn lately? You might want to go through Mount Auburn and see what they doing over there. There's somebody making a guapa. Beep, beep, beep. Just backing up the bank truck. Beep, beep, beep. Can we get a bigger truck, please? Beep, beep, beep. Just backing up the cash over there for a 1,000-foot apartment condo. Man, listen. Smart people are developing ways to be a part of it in the city of Cincinnati. It's going to happen in every single neighborhood. Every single neighborhood, if this continues, is going to happen. It's happening. It's about to come happening over on Queen City Ave. It's happening over there too. I'm telling you, the city is changing right before our eyes. Within our lifetime, it has changed downtown has changed within our lifetime. Downtown used to be the last place on earth you want to be in. They want shit to do. So go downtown for what? Hey, you going to get some drugs? You hang out with Peanut and them, get some drugs? That's about it. But now, man, it used to be at 6 p.m. downtown was dead. It was dead, man. Downtown is alive. 3, 4 a.m. on the weekends. You might be asleep. You got to get up work on Monday. It's Saturday night. I got to go to work on Monday. Negro, you got 36 hours. You got 48 hours. You'll be okay. Downtown is electric. It's electric. See here. Better get your underground. What's the next underground thing you can do? I don't know. See, the average price, I think I read that. So number 1 was Cincinnati, 2 St. Louis, 3 Portland, 4 Asheville, North Carolina, 5 Pittsburgh. Hey, we beat Pittsburgh or something. Yeah. 6 Denver. Then who cares about the rest of them, right? Cleveland, Ohio was number 10. Speaking of Cleveland, there's a happy motherfucker in Cleveland this morning, y'all. Woo! You talk about happy. There is somebody in Cleveland who is happy right now. You want to know why? Because they hit the lotto. The Mega Millions was what, $300 and something million? I told you Cincinnati is due for a winner. I'm gonna leave it like that. Anyway, Cleveland, Ohio is where the lottery ticket was sold. And I started thinking like, damn, I got in-laws. I better call them. I'm gonna call them and see what's going on. Just, make sure we stay connected. $372 million. It was the winning Mega Millions ticket. It was sold in Ohio, in Cleveland, at the Giant Eagle supermarket in Mentor, which is a suburb of Cleveland. I'm like, damn, is that my in-law living? They live in Mentor? Hold on. Let me get him on the phone. Wait. It's the 20th Mega Millions jackpot ticket sold in Ohio since the Ohio Lottery began selling Mega Millions in 2002. The winning numbers, 22, 30, 53, 55, 56, plus 16. Now, if those are your numbers and you didn't play, you got to be mad right now. Damn. Told you, somebody in Cleveland is happy this morning. And you probably won't hear a word of them because in Ohio, you do not have to, you can remain anonymous, get your affairs together, get your security together, and then, cash that ticket, buddy. Cash that ticket. The O'Hallery. I just did a John from Princeton, New Jersey, who, by the way, made up about 3 words this morning in our phone call. He just make up words, man. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You have a stroke or something? Hope not. The Ohio Lottery last hit the Mega Millions jackpot on May 4th, 2018. That ticket was worth $142 million. You have 180 days from the date that the number was drawn to claim the ticket. So I'm sure these folks will be coming for soon. Like, if that was me, man, if I hit for the lottery, would I do the show this morning? I might. I'll be wild in the motherfucker on that show. I mean, I wouldn't be that much different than I am now. I don't know what that show would be very interesting. I mean, actually, it wouldn't be much different than it is now. I'm not a flossy, showboaty kind of guy. That's just never been my style. I'm more thrifty. Let's see. $372 million. You got any in-laws in Cleveland? Got any friends? You better call them. Make sure y'all cool. I am a mess this morning, but I mean, if you don't have humor in your life, what do you have? If you don't have a little humor. Mazone writes, what up, choppers? I'm way back here. Tanika writes, morning, Nate in the choppers. Miss Tiffany writes, morning. Ray writes, grand risings all. Pat writes, good morning. CJ writes, good morning all. Maurice Wiggs writes, Tawana Brawley 2.0 has been unearthed. She says she did it to get away from her cruel black mother. The year of the bad black mother continues. Oh, my God. You still on that shit, man? You still on that? The year of the bad black mother is what he says this is. I don't think so. But, I mean, we all have our different opinions. I mean, that's how you really feel. What are you talking about? You're talking about the black woman who has confessed that she faked her own kidnapping. I am aware of it, but I didn't really kind of follow the story. So, see, she said this because she was trying to get away from her mother. Okay, I mean, that's desperation. What I don't want to happen is for that to somehow have an impact on the fact that there's so many missing black women that we don't talk enough about. You know what I'm saying? So people do crazy stuff sometimes. I chalk it up to that, nothing more. That's it. No big deal. It's nobody. I mean, you know, maybe she was in a desperate emotional state. She did something dumb. But let me go to the phones here. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, how you doing, guy?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, what do you mean? Am I still on that? That's what this year signifies. We've seen nothing but bad parenting from black women this year, all over social media, and it continues today in the video I just tagged you in. Some lady beating the hell out of her daughter with a frying pan. At least it wasn't cast iron. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank God for small miracles, right? Yeah.
Say what? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we see those kind of videos all the time.
A frying pan?
I haven't seen that. A frying pan. I haven't seen it yet.
Who hit somebody with a frying pan in the head on top of that?
Where is this video at?
I just tagged you with it on Twitter. Check your Twitter. You'll see it.
Let me check it out right now.
A frying pan, Nathan. Come on, man.
I'm not making excuses for this woman because I don't know what the situation. I'm just saying, like.
And like I told you.
I'm looking at it right now.
You know, when you teach your kids to obey you and don't teach them to make good decisions, this is what they get. Tawana Brawley 2.0. They make bad decisions. Staging a kidnapping. Only reason it got unearthed that it was staged because why? Because of all the heat they were getting.
All the heat
where's this girl? She didn't realize she was going to get attention. She thought that because she was a black girl, nobody would care. But we did care.
Okay, so this is one individual case.
Her own phone got her Amber Alert.
Okay, I'm looking at it now. So what's she's hitting her with the frying pan. She ain't hitting her over the head or nothing like that.
She does. She's pulling off her hood. The girl's blocking her head. You just got to watch it. It's like,
it's
damn.
Wrong. It's wrong. Somebody says toxic feminism. That's funny. It's wrong. It's wrong, man. It's dead wrong.
You know?
I don't condone
that's what I'm saying. So why we, you know, that's all I'm saying. I'm just, you know, I'm just pointing out what I see on the news.
Well,
and then, because social media is the news nowadays. And Charles McMicken, he's got a street named after him as well. So are we going to take that down too?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just making sure, you know, let's not, you know, I don't, you know, appreciate all these bullets going at my alma mater. You understand? That's all I'm saying. But and as far as there was, see, I should have wrote this down. I was on my way out the door. Then you said that stuff about me. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Don't be, you know, try to act like I'm the. Oh, I want to do this. Since the gentleman from the northern affluent suburb is afraid to debate me. You know, he keeps trying to refer to me as a jungle bunny and stuff like that, but he don't want to play me in golf either because he know I'll stump him. He's seen me on video with my golf game. I'll debate Sister Victoria because she's got more heart than him anyway on Colin Kaepernick because them people are fooled and they're wrong. And I want to take somebody's head off on this. It's about time that people realize how you've been frauded by Colin Kaepernick. You got me saying Kaepernick. I'll gladly, and then we can bury the subject till something else comes up.
Well, let's see how Glenn feels about it. I'm down.
No, he don't want that smoke. I said Sister V. She's got more heart. She called in yesterday anyway after me talking about Colin.
Okay. You and Sister V,
you know what I'm saying? Maybe she will, maybe she won't, but I like Sister V anyway, so it won't be nothing like that.
So you be respectful.
Yeah, I got mad love for her. You know, she's been in them streets doing what it is, but this is one of those situations where she doesn't realize that sweeping generalities don't apply to sports.
They don't?
And that's why I'm about to bust her down. Glenn, I'd bust him down, you know, like the dime bag of Reggie that he is.
Like the dime bag of Reggie that he is.
Yeah, he should change his name to the Mason Midgrade.
The Mason Midgrade.
But I digress.
You do
I'll
digress.
Holler at you at a future moon. Oh!
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Let me see. This is on Kelly Prather's page 16 minutes ago. She writes, please don't allow the political parties. Kelly Prather is an African-American female who ran for U.S. Senator. She ran for Cincinnati City Council, and now she's running for Hamilton County Commissioner. I don't know if she's going to run as a Democrat or an independent. She's a black female. There's another black female. Matter of fact, I think she's running as a Democrat. I think Alicia Reese is a black female who was a state rep for many, many years, fighting 33rd, now represented by Cedric Denson. And she is running as well, along with a white female who has an amazing war chest. She got like $400,000 because initially she was running for Ohio governor and then pulled out. And that's how the rules go. But here's Kelly Prather on her Facebook page 17 minutes ago. She writes, please don't allow the political parties or talking heads to tell you who to vote for. We are all extremely intelligent people who can reason and make decisions for ourselves. Even prior to deciding to vote Kelly Prather for Hamilton County Commissioner on March 17, 2020, reflect on who you've seen fighting for all people. Seriously, choose the candidate who you've seen working on behalf of the people. Choose the candidate who is not supported by special interest group aiming to lock you out of the room when making decisions about your lives and livelihoods and ultimately out of your homes. I choose the people's candidate who is passionate about strong public schools, creating jobs, and there's some more stuff. She writes, not afraid to check themselves for the good. Wait. Let me back up here. The people's candidate who is passionate about strong public schools, creating jobs, supporting small businesses, and quality of life issues. Okay. And she writes, vote Kelly. So far, she has no likes on that, but that was just 17 minutes ago. You see, I'm looking at the images of her. Looks like she's a Bernie supporter. Okay, I'm just looking at some of the images there. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So, very interesting. What? The famous killed his creative drive? Damn, really? Somebody got the tree up looking nice. Look at that. Looking nice. We don't do a big tree at our house. We just do a small little tree. What is this? Okay. Oh, what is this? Okay, I'm looking at Ride or Die. It looks like they have a marksman coaching shooting range practice. I'm going to reach out to Forte and see. It's going to be January the 12th from 3 to 5:30 p.m. Hold on, let me double check here. Let me see when January the 12th is. January the 12th is a Sunday. How does that fit your schedule for people that have their CCW? Let me check out Forte and see what he says and see who this is available for. Because, I'm looking to do that. I also know we want to do another basic course as well. And if I can get, enough people together, we can certainly do that. And it looks like the cost of that is going to be about $50. You can use their weapons. Okay, this is what we need to do. Because you have your CCW, it doesn't stop there. You have to go out to the range over and over again to really become a good shot, to become familiar with your weapon. It's like anything else. You got to do it repeatedly. So I'll reach out to the fellas and you tell me if January the 12th, which is a Sunday, will work for your schedule and see exactly where that's going to be. Is that going to be indoor or outdoor? I like the indoor facility. It was nice. And Ride or Die were true professionals, good brothers, and they tell great stories. If you love a great story, which I would imagine you do, if you're a fan of talk radio, then even if it's not with our group, maybe you do something with your own group or whatever, you might want to consider them. So listen, let me take a break. We'll come right back. Nathan Ivey in the air chair. Don't go anywhere. Live, local, and vocal. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. And we'll be back.
Report. I'm Donna Wilson. In business news, we all know that funding is a major stumbling block for new entrepreneurs, but less than 1% of VC dollars are invested with Black and Latino businesses. But according to Black Enterprise, there are several VC funds aimed at supporting underrepresented entrepreneurs. They include Harlem Capital Partners, Kapor Capital, Intel Capital, Backstage Capital, and GE Ventures. In other news, the Huffington Post Black News reports a major Jewish denomination is voting to support reparations for slavery. The Union for Reformed Judaism is calling for a study on reparations to redress the continuing effects of slavery and systemic racism against Black Americans. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. I am pleased to announce the free Train the Trainer Masterclass coming to Cincinnati on Thursday, December the 19th, sponsored by Walker Funeral Home and Lamar. The Masterclass will train people just like you, as well as parents, teachers, physicians, youth workers, nurses, and mentors on how to develop better skills to save our kids from pipeline to prison, bullying, reduce gun violence, homicides, suicides, domestic violence, and drug abuse. The Train the Trainer Masterclass, 5 p.m. doors open with a business connection. 6 to 7 p.m. free dinner reception. 7 p.m. Train the Trainer Masterclass, free Comfsey lotion for everyone. Renew Community Church, 2129 West North Bend Road in College Hill. Register at the door December the 19th or sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass at SundayConnectCircle.org. That's SundayConnectCircle.org. Get your free Train the Trainer Masterclass flyer in the Cincinnati Herald. I am Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. Are you struggling with something right now in your life that no matter how hard you work on that struggle, it just never seems to go away? A health challenge, a mental challenge, a financial or relationship struggle. Did you know that 100% of your current struggles are due to what negatively happened to you from birth to 7 years of age? Did you know that there is something that you could do about this struggle? Let us help you rewrite your life, along with 200 other leaders that I plan to train in this life-changing masterclass. Sign up today for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass, being held on Thursday, December the 19th at Renew Community Church. Food and refreshments will be served. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for free. That's SundayConnectCircle.org and sign up for the free Train the Trainer Masterclass.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Dispatches from a Doomed Society is what I'm calling this segment of the year. And I don't know, for whatever reason I do this at the end of every year. Partly I do it because I want to look back and look into some of the topics that at least were the headlines. And then partly I do it because it gives me a sense of things to talk about and kind of reflect on some of the things that we discussed And so just kind of looking back over the headlines of the past year has been quite interesting. I mean, we covered a lot of ground, and it's not even really a comprehensive sort of archive, at least the headlines anyway, of everything we discussed, because there's a lot of times, or there have been times in which, we end up veering off to the left or the right, or we get a guest that I didn't know before we were about to go live, or before we went live, that we were going to have. But just looking from the headlines, it seems that the show has been true to what I've always envisioned. We talk about people, politics, and pleasure from an African-American perspective, because that's the only perspective that I have. I can't give you any other perspective from that. That's it. And it's been quite interesting to look back over some of the local stories that we discussed. I still say that Tracy Hunter would probably be the number one story. I think the number two story politically would be gangified text messages. That was quite interesting, that whole thing. It was so much drama involved, and Smitherman and Sittenfeld, and of course the unfortunate passing of Mr. Smitherman's wife, and how that all got played into what was going on at that time. It's quite interesting. But I mean, are there any other most notable stories that you think happened that should be highlighted locally here in 2019? I mean, here we are about to go into 2020, which is the future. We are in the future. We live in the future. And the future is now. And we don't have flying cars. But Cincinnati is in the middle of a renaissance. Cincinnati. We are about to embark in what will be ultimately a complete revamping of our city council in 2 years, with 6 seats available, and all of the different races, local races that, will have key people making key decisions for the foreseeable future. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this all plays out. Maybe the decriminalization of marijuana in Cincinnati, I think, was a significant story. Okay, you can now blow dro in Cincinnati. You can have as much as 100 grams in your possession. I thought it should have been as high as 500 grams. Because what's the difference? What is the difference? What else here? Looking back, remember on 6/12/19, officer who tasered an 11-year-old to get payback. Remember that? Officer tasered that young girl. I still believe that officer was wrong. But this year, because of just the way the union works for the officers and the particulars in the case, he was able to get his back pay. Pays to be in a union. It pays to be in a union. I don't know. I mean, this year I kicked off a couple of really cool podcasts, like the Is It Just Me podcast, the Dope Chicks Collective, and more podcasts to come through the BS podcast. And that's been really interesting. I still say that Donnie B is the best new talk voice in Cincinnati for 2019. That is my personal belief. You tell me who would be other than her. Who's the best talk voice other than her? I love to hear it. Let me see. Show me that. Until that person shows up, we're going to put her there. Let me see. Trying to figure out what else happened here locally as I'm looking back, because we don't just talk about local stories. I mean, Cincinnati is my focus. If there's a hot national story and a hot local story, I'm going to talk about the local story. Okay? Because I'm local. Everything I know and all my roots and connects I have are in the Cincinnati area. So I want to focus there. And that's where the heart of my audience is as well. We see here. What other local stories do you think should be discussed that are noteworthy? What happened this year? Looking back, you tell me. I'd love to know. You tell me. 513-873-7134. I think that one of the biggest movies of the year, going back to like early in the year, was, for me anyway, was Us. Remember that movie, Us? That shit was with Jordan Peele. In 2019, he further established himself as a fine practitioner in horror movie filmmaking, right? I thought that Us was pretty dope. Was pretty dope. What did you think? I thought culturally that was something that was significant. The rise of the black director. I mean, think about on that level. Think about Tyler Perry this year, 2019. The rise of the black director, right? Created this brand new studio down in Atlanta that rivals anything in Hollywood. Rivals anything in Hollywood. And all of the studio names are named after African-American, prominent male and female entertainers. Some of his friends and them. So you tell me, I'm sure that someone will bring up something that I haven't thought of, but what are locally, somebody writes the saga of John Gray. I got to catch up with Andrea. I got to catch up with her. Let me see here. FCC pushing residents out, business owners having to relocate. I did see something about that. There was a black man on the front cover of the Cincinnati.com page. Hold on one second. Let me go here. And I think it was that page. And he had been, I don't know, it looked like somebody that maybe I was familiar with for some reason. He looked kind of familiar. No, it wasn't Cincinnati.com. Maybe it was WCPO.com. Yeah. How he says development pushed him out of Over the Rhine. It's a humongous problem. Daniel Eubanks, 25-year career as a machinist and 11 years in the same Over the Rhine apartment, never expected to be homeless at this point in his life. Eubanks ended up on the street this past summer after the building where he lived was sold. Not good. This guy's been living in homeless shelters. Seems like he was displaced by what happened down there in Over the Rhine. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But when you don't own it and somebody sells it, then that's what happens. You know, I think the moral of FC Cincinnati is ownership. Because if you owned some land down there, when FC Cincinnati came, you might not have wanted to move. I get it. You know, I grew up in a family home. If somebody was making development, I wouldn't want to do it. But if they're going to pay me a above market rate price, cha-ching, I'm cashing in. Ownership. But I don't know the details about that particular story, if that's what people are referring to. Let me start at the beginning. Let me go way back to almost more than an hour ago. CG Dub writes, good morning, choppers. Ray writes, voters in Kansas overwhelmingly voted to remove MLK's name from a boulevard. Tony writes, good morning. Mason Muller writes, Charles McMicken was also a conservative, I'm just saying. Sharp writes, where are the black descendants of Charles McMicken? Well, from what I read, is that Charles McMicken fathered children with black slaves, which means he probably raped them. Or they felt compelled to do so to keep Massa happy. Same thing. And when he died, he didn't leave any of his wealth to his children, including his black children. So who knows? They probably don't even know they are descendants of Charles McMicken. Let me see. Dennis, the hot dog man. What? Dennis is proof, the hot dog man. Tony writes, Dennis is proof money opens some unlikely doors. Oh, you're talking about Real Housewives? Yeah. A little bit of an odd couple there, but see, this is what happened when people do shit backwards. Why are you pregnant before you get married? I mean, I'm just saying, you know, from a female perspective, wouldn't you want that further protection, whatever that might give you? Or maybe it's a further entanglement, because people just do what they want to do these days. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to get married to have no baby with nobody. That ain't even a thought. It's purely whatever the mama want to do. If she decides she want to keep it, she going to keep it. Whether she's with the guy or you're one of 30 or whatever, it don't really matter. People trying to do stuff backwards, and it makes it worse. and he was cheating on her. How could a man who should be so happy to get a woman like that, some men might say, how could he cheat on her? That's because there's no Il Nana like new Il Nana. That's why. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. That's why. Yeah, they said it in The Best Man. Remember that movie with Tay Diggs and Morris Chestnut? They brought it up in there. That's why. Real simple. Halle Berry, Venus Williams, you name it. You know, brother hit it for a while. After that, it gets old. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. But I've already had it. Now, I think that's really a biological imperative to procreate. That's what I think it is. At its most primal instinct. You know what I'm saying? Some men are more controlling themselves than others. That's just being real with you. Tracy writes, problems with cheating, but you want a girlfriend, LMFAO. I did say I want a girlfriend, but that's different though. Cheating is when you do something behind somebody's back. What I admitted to you is that many years ago, I went to my wife and I asked her if I could have a girlfriend. I was dead serious. And I went to her because I'm not going to be juggling lies. I don't have other time for all of that. I'm not doing all of that. I'm just going to be straight with you. This is what I want to do. And either you're going to say yes or you're going to say no. And she said affirmatively no. And I say that because you might be married to a man who at his heart would love to have a girlfriend. Keep it all civilized, everybody happy. But, you know, modern day women ain't going for that. There might be some out there, but it is what it is. So that's different from cheating. Cheating is when you're doing something behind somebody's back. That's not what I proposed to the wifey. I just say, you know what? I'm going to do something behind your back. You cool with that? I said, look, I want to have a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to do what we do. And then when we together, we do what I do. We do what we do, right? That'll be cool, right? Make me happy. And she shot that down like John McCain's plane over Vietnam. Ray writes, should married couples use condoms? It depends. It depends on what kind of married couple you are. I would say, generally speaking, no, right? Because, I mean, that's the good part about being married. You don't got to wear no condoms. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the good things. And I see Tracy's calling me. I must have said some crazy shit. Oh, my God. Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery. I've already said it, Tracy, so you don't have to hit me too hard, okay? But, well, let me get to that in a second, Ray. Let me go to Tracy's call because she's on the line. Hey, Tracy. Tracy, good morning. What's going on?
Nathan, why is everything always different? That's not the same thing when somebody's talking about you. Here's what I'm really trying to say. Okay, so whether you asked for permission or not to have a girlfriend. Hold on, I got to lean out the window and put my badge up here. Hold on a second. Whether you asked for permission to have a girlfriend or not, what you referred to about the consequences was diseases. So let's say if you did get permission to have a girlfriend, what if you decided and you got real comfortable with this girlfriend to take your condom off and you still got the same result? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's not in that hypothetical situation.
It's not the same again, right?
No, it's not. I'm going to say it's not the same. I'm saying that's not allowed. Like in the scenario,
it's not allowed, but it happens. The reality of it is it happens.
Yeah, things happen, but no, they happen because people do things. You don't have to. Who told you to take the condom off? Keep it on. Period. It's just that simple. It's real simple.
Okay, so let's say, just for argument's sake, you just said there's no. How did you put it? There's no Il Nana, like new Il Nana.
Like new Il
There's
Nana,
really
right.
no feeling if you got the condom on. So I don't know what the percentage is. I'm not just going to throw any number out there, but there is a percentage of men who would just take it off just for the sake of feeling the new Il Nana, right?
Well, I mean, what I would say, if you being...
But you're not going to put yourself in that number.
What I would say is, if you're a man in a marriage and you go to your wife and say, wifey, I want a girlfriend. She said, you can have a girlfriend, but you got to make sure you have safe sex. Well, I think if you're that guy, then if you're dealing with other women, then you got to make sure you have a safe sex. And that means getting tested regularly, making sure your partners are being tested. That means wearing condoms. That means not doing certain things, because you can't do everything with everybody. I just think that if you're mature about it, then maybe you could work something out. At least that's what I pitched.
Okay. I don't see too many people going through the whole cheating process, getting their partner tested. But okay, I just wanted to stir the pot.
But why not though? It's one thing to cheat. It's another to expose your partner to STDs. Just because you cheating don't mean you have to have unprotected sex or that you have to just jump into bed with everybody. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's true, but people get caught up.
People don't get caught up. They allow themselves to do.
They do get caught up. That's how babies and everything come into the mix. Nathan, don't act naive.
I'm talking about married people.
They do get caught up.
No, married people don't shit. Married people ain't allowed to get caught up because you married. If you want to get caught up and go,
they ain't allowed, but it happens.
I'm saying it shouldn't happen.
Your boy D.
I'm saying it shouldn't happen.
Oh, here comes the snow.
Oh, really?
Okay,
great.
Shouldn't and it happens.
It does.
People get caught up with those oops babies all the time.
I'm talking about men. I'm talking about two men. If you're a man and you're trying to have this lifestyle, in my opinion, things don't just happen. Part of the compromise in something like that is, okay, your wife said you can go do this. You got to be a grown-up about it. You can't be out here acting like you're single because you're not. That means taking precautions. I said all the time, I don't understand why these dudes is cheating and you ain't getting vasectomies and you're not using condoms. Cheating is one thing. Being dumb about it is something completely different. And you're right. There's a lot of men out there that's dumb about it. Be smarter.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of dummies.
It's a lot of dummies out here.
Caught up in the new ill nana. That's dumb.
Well, new ill nana can be quite powerful. Over some men. Some men are just weak
and something that powerful will make you lose your dumbass mind. That's dumb. But I'm not gonna hang up on you today like I did the other day.
There are some men who will lose their damn man about that. You're right about that. There are. It's obvious. I mean, how could I argue against it? You're right about that.
All right. Well, you have a good day.
All right, take it easy, Tracy.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Take it easy. Appreciate it. She is happy. She's not mad. I mean, she's not happy. She is not happy. And I try to keep it real with her. Yeah, it's a true story. I went to the wifey many years ago, and she just wasn't having it. I had my plan. I shot my shot. Yeah, maybe what we do. I am a man. And I'm just saying, I mean, I hear about these guys getting caught up and you married. I'm like, damn, dude. To me, if you were with a woman and y'all decide you're gonna be monogamous, you should be monogamous. That's what I think. It'll make your life and your relationship a lot less stressful than bringing in strange people, new ill nana or not. That's just my opinion about it. And then in today's world, you never know what somebody got. Somebody could just touch you and give you something. You know what I'm saying? You could just touch the ill nana and get something these days. Your hands start itching, starts blistering up. Talking about, what are these bumps? Well, those bumps are when motherfuckers do stuff and they're not mature about it. That's what those bumps are. So, it's just real talk. That's why I tell you, men, while you out here having babies, you married. Go get a vasectomy. Use condoms. Or just don't do it. Bring home babies. That'll be a hell of a question. I mean, that'll be a hell of a conversation for me to come home to my wife and tell her that I got a woman pregnant. I just couldn't do that. I couldn't do that to her. That's different. I mean, there's being caught up and there's just being an irresponsible, just immature ass man. That's two different things. Men have to take control of birth control and take control of their sexual organs. I don't give right. New ill nana. Any brother tell you it's amazing. It's quite amazing. There's no word for it. There literally is no word for it, and that's the way God made it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way He made it, or she made it, or the whatever you want to believe made it. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's the way the universe made it. But come on, man. We can't. If everybody did everything they wanted to do, and we just be heathens. And while that may sound like fun on some levels, it would be wrong for our society, I think. Ray writes, should married couples use condoms if they like? CG Dub writes, Dennis is just like John. He likes the mommies. Huh? Is that right? The Puerto Rican, the what does he say? John say he likes the Miami mommies, something like that. Maury writes, if Jesse's Kirk is in here, I made a something music sandwich last night. Shit was fire. Okay. Cam writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Come on, Nate. Just because I'm a porn star and Donald Trump had sex with me because I'm wearing a Jimmy hat doesn't mean I'm dirty. Sincerely, Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels is in here? What up, Stormy? Angela writes, trust is one thing. Acquiring STDs or AIDS is another. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So if you got to cheat on your wife, which I do not recommend that you do, what I recommend is you take as many precautions as possible. There ain't nothing wrong with you asking somebody to get tested before they rock with you. Don't you love yourself? I mean, Il Nana is amazing, but it ain't that amazing. It ain't worth HIV. It ain't even worth chlamydia. Nothing makes sex, nothing creates bad sex faster than an STD. Nothing does that. Nothing. It'll ruin the whole experience for you. You won't even have any fun. Ah, boy. Kelly writes, good morning. John, if you're listening, Angela wants to know if you're coming to town. Renee writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, Renee. Let's see here. Anybody see the video of Charlie Winburn talking about his wife, saying her praises, fighting her illness, but needs to put some meat on her bones so I can get back to love making? What? Is that funny? Did he say that at his announcement? I think it was last week. I think I saw a video. Angela writes, David Mann better step lightly. He's coming up on strike, on third strike. 1, that white wig buckwheat commercial. 2, the phony FC Cincinnati CBA with Sittenfeld. Well, the white wig buckwheat commercial, that's hilarious. Amadeus. I try to be more dignified, but you're right, buckwheat. The white wig buckwheat commercial. So David Mann is a white male Democrat. He's the oldest member of city council, and he's got a full head of like silver gray, whatever you want to call it, hair. And white hair. Like Santa Claus white. And in his most recent campaign re-election video, it showed him walking around the streets of Cincinnati, and he was at Skyline Chili. He's all these landmarks, and he's running into people that's got the same hairstyle as him, including it was like a shot of him and like some little black kids, like at a daycare or at a school or something like that. And I'm like, whose kids are these? These must be some of your staffers, some of your friends. Can you rent a black kid for a day in Cincinnati for a video? What's the going rate? And it just seemed to be, I still to this day don't understand what that meant exactly. I don't even know what he was trying to convey. But I guess David Mann was so popular that he could have did a video of him, you know, doing whatever. And as long as it wasn't too offensive, they would have rolled with it. You know what I'm saying? I guess at his point in his career, you know, he just makes videos that people think are funny and they all laugh at it like, they've got David's signature hair. To this day, I think it was offensive, and I still don't. I guess it worked though, because he's on city council. So while we might criticize it, it worked. So there it is. She writes, the phony FC Cincinnati CBA with Sittenfeld. Well, I think they're still using that phony FC Cincinnati CBA. Alicia racks up another endorsement. Woodlawn Mayor, I think I read that. Who are the black females of the Republican Party? Diamond and Silk? Candace Owens or Star Parker? Notice anything? All female Gilligans. I dance for a Trumpster. On the flip side, plenty of other candidates were out and about making the rounds, networking last week. Angela writes, I saw Kelly, Fanon, Gabe, Vanessa, March 2020 primary is high stakes. Somebody writes, Magoo is pretty old, Glenn. Tracy writes, Corinthia is asking for prayers. Her son Evan is going into surgery. Appendicitis. Hashtag please pray. 100%. I know she's dealing with the loss of her brother, now her son going into surgery. That surgery thing, man. I've had a little bit of surgery. Woo! It's I don't like it. I don't like the loss of control. I don't like it. I don't like being around people that I don't know. Physicians or otherwise. I don't know what the fuck they could be doing to me when I'm under. They could be taking out some of their anger. He reminds me of a brother used to bully me back in school. I never even knew who you were. Don't take it out on me when I'm under. He said, well, you don't need all of this. We're going to remove a little bit of this here and there. Why does John sound like he's face down in an Asian massage parlor making a call? Hashtag unhappy ending. That is the image that will forever be burned into my brain when it comes to John now. Thank you so much for that. John is the same guy who said on LW yesterday that Elizabeth Warren is in her 50s. Man, sit down. CG Doug writes, TFC, can you post the win back? See, there you go, talking about Mr. Winburn like that. Video link in the chop shop, please. Jesse writes, yesterday, John told Lincoln that Elizabeth Warren was in her late 50s. He don't even know, do we? Somebody writes, prayers up for Cerinthia's son. Absolutely. Cam writes, John's nonsense just went vital. He did say that. He said vital. Tony writes, political talk with a non-voter is dead airspace. I mean, he claims that he's registered now. I don't believe it because he said he was registered before that what was going on in sorry about that. He said he was registered before 513-873-7134. Please call that number. He said he was registered before they had the big New Jersey primary, and this mofo didn't say nothing about the primary. He didn't say a word about it, which leads me to believe that he wasn't registered. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Somebody writes, goodbye, John. He said, my 357 tells me he would not be removed. Right. That was the white dude who said that, the Trump supporter. He said, look, he's not going to be impeached. Broadway Flo writes, my therapist always say lead with love. Okay, fuck Oprah, the black man slayer. Now, of course, she hates black men. Old Stepford husband having black man hating bed wench. Attacking brothers to satisfy white America's need to put a black face on everything wrong in America. Her show was always trash. Anyway, good morning. Hashtag alt middle. Hashtag Ayatollah stand up. Drop squad hold tight. That's from Broadway Flow. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Good. Hey, I want to ask you a question about when you asked your wife that, could you afford a girlfriend on the side?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. So what was you just going to do? Just not, I mean, how was you going to help your girlfriend?
Well, I don't know how I was going to help her. I wasn't thinking about helping her per se.
Oh, just thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
It is. Should grow up.
I'll try.
Only men that can afford girlfriends should have girlfriends.
I agree with you.
Okay. Good.
All right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. You said only men they can afford a girlfriend should have one. I agree. I agree with you completely. We talking about, man. Hold on, somebody writes, having some issues hearing. Who is this? Let me turn it up for you. I appreciate that. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Appreciate that, James. How many blacks will be at the Trump rally? ? Asking for a black voting friend. How many blacks? I'm sure there'll be a handful of blacks there. Worse off than 2016. Didn't the Democrats win the House in 2018? Let me see. Yeah. Actually, Obama cut the black employment in half while in office. Trust but verify. I mean, everybody knows, but it's at this point, the longer Trump stays in office, the more it becomes his economy. That's just the way it goes. Okay. It's just a perception thing. And, you know, everybody knows that the mechanisms, the tools, the fire was sparked during the Obama administration because he did things that a lot of the Republicans at the time didn't like. And, you know, it helped America to rebound. I mean, just remember when Obama came in office, this was right after Bush. You had this big financial collapse. I mean, they were talking about the whole world was going to crack in half. All the big banks were basically failing because they had been basically swindling folks and investing in smoke screens. And it all caught up with everybody, right? That was the U.S. that Obama inherited. And by the time that he left, everything had turned around to the point where all Trump had to do was not really mess anything up. You know what I'm saying? So that needs to be said. Ray Rice, guy on WOW talking about Tamaya Denard and her being sued in the past. The Inquirer dug up old news and him not thinking she should be in charge of the budgeting committee. Yeah, I did see the article about Tamaya Denard and I did read it. And I did feel like it was kind of dredging up old stuff. And basically they're trying to say there should be like some ethics violation. And again, I don't have all the details. And I would say whatever the rules are, that's what the rules are. But I would also say is that there's a lot of people in Cincinnati that don't like Tamaya Denard. They don't like the fact that she's outspoken and challenging the way things have always been done and the way that development money has been flowing. There might even be some developers out there that just straight up don't like her. We already know that the business community in the last election was able to fund successfully an effort to cut the power of city council. So city council went from 4-year terms back to 2-year terms. And we know that was led by the business effort, by the business community, right? They got in bed with Smitherman and others, and they funded this effort to, in my opinion, dilute the power of city council. Now, why would the business community, including Jeff Birding, FC Cincinnati, why would they be involved in an effort like that? Why would they care about terms? It's cutting the power. You know, you got people down there talking about making CBA agreements. That's not the way things have always been done here. Big money. Those who are powerful, those who are rich, get what the fuck they want, period. That's how things have been done here. City council rolls over, period. That's what happens, right? That's what happens. And now this is a little bit different. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were on live. I apologize. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm still on the air.
It's me, G. Common sense. I tell you what, I will call you when you're off the air because I want to talk business.
All right, take it easy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Yep, most def. That's G checking in. Friend of the show. Very much so. Very much so a friend of the show. Hold on, I'm getting another message here. I want to make sure. Okay, got it. Okay. All right, got it. All right, back to what we were talking about here. Almost kind of lost my train of thought. Just did 2 or 3 different things all at once. I could clear. Oh yeah, we did get a female caller. I'm not sure who that was, but clearly she was not unhappy with me at all. She was not happy with me at all. And I get it. I mean, this can be very unconventional. I mean, it's not very honest. You don't really have a lot of spaces where people can be honest, especially black men. We don't have a lot of spaces for people to be very, very honest. And I'm just at a point in my life where I'll be honest with you. Now, again, that's not the first time I've said that. I mean, I told you when it happened many years ago because I thought it was an experience that perhaps other men could relate to. Just honest thoughts. I'll say it again. If the man you're with right now, I'm talking to the ladies, if the man that you're with right now was honest, he'd probably tell you the same thing. But there's a big difference between something that you want and something that you actually do. It's a big difference there, I think. Is UC doing enough to create a safe space for students of color. I like the fact that now, 100 years later, we realize that the arts and sciences building, which, by the way, I think there's a lot of people, arts and sciences is the name of a college. So you might have 35, 50 different degrees out of arts and sciences. And what does it say about an educational institution like a university that has the name of slave owners on buildings? Do you think it makes a difference at all? Maybe these people are full of ish. Does it really make a difference, the name of the building? You tell me. Y'all see the new R. Kelly documentary? Dame Dash out there snitching. Them Harlem Negroes are something else. Which reminds me, we were talking about, of course, Oprah Winfrey, who's got a brand new documentary coming out. And people are upset with her because she's focusing on Michael Jackson and she's not focusing on Harvey Weinstein. And some people are saying that of all the people in the world, she should not be a part of contributing to making it seem like all the crimes are committed by blacks and only focusing on like black perpetrators when you're doing a documentary. And I'll be honest with you, I agree completely. But she also is going to be on her own channel. And that's more of like an African-American thing, isn't it? They focus, like all their shows focus on black folks. So it kind of makes sense that she would just do that because it kind of fits what she's already built over there on own. Now, people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. That is the truth as I see it. Clue Magic's in the house. He writes, "Good morning, Nate and the Choppers. I just got your text, Clue." See, Warren County doesn't know what he's talking about. House just passed spending bill with over $1 billion going for the wall. Hashtag build a wall. Pardon me 1 second. All right, back. Jackie Jones writes, blacks don't like cold weather and rain. Yes, it was blacks at the rallies. Oprah got her damn nerve. Drop, if Trump is doing so good, why did he try to cheat again? Question mark. You're brainwashed. Drop. He is brainwashed. He's been brainwashed by Rush Limbaugh. He told us. Sister V's in the house. If the Dems question the growing deficit, the human trafficking at the border created by Trump, defunding of the SNAP program, and change of law making it harder for women and children to get food stamps, Trump questions foreign funding, but he's giving the house to Israel. With that, I yield back my time. Black Russia writes, Trump isn't running on the economy? Question mark. Warren County doesn't do a lot of reading. That's all the president talks about. Hashtag alt middle. Clumazic writes, I wonder, have any of Sam DuBose's children taken advantage of their free tuition? That's an excellent question. And it should be free tuition for the DuBose family for the next 100 years. That would be significant. That's significant. And it's not significant. And you would always take Mr. DuBose back, obviously. Rest in power. We'd always take Mr. DuBose back. But I'm just saying that in today's world, the price of an education, you know, I hope Sam DuBose kids go to UC and become academic stars. And I'm not talking about no 4-year degree. I'm talking about law school. I'm talking about medical school. Nothing short of that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tell you got a full ride to college. Negro, you don't stop at no 2-year degree. You be a damn fool. You get every degree you can that's relevant to what you're trying to do. Become a doctor, a lawyer, and get an MBA. And get a dentistry degree. Get every degree you can. Now, that would be pretty dope. Everybody degreed up in the family. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Especially because I think that you can transform that into wealth building because you're going to leave college with no debt. You know what I'm saying? Do it. 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 That's what I would do. Stop listening to the alt mental spreading lies. Here are the facts. Federal judge in El Paso on Tuesday blocked the Trump administration plan to pay for border barrier construction with $3.6 billion in military funds, ruling that the administration does not have the authority to divert money appropriated by Congress for a different purpose. The Trump administration was planning to use those funds to build 175 miles of steel barriers, and the court's permanent injunction casts new doubt on Trump's pledge to erect 450 linear miles of fencing by the end of the next year. TNT writes, good morning. Let's see. Good morning, all. Good morning, all. CG Doug writes, I hate beer. Cam writes, SantaCon. SantaCon is a beer crawl. It's a beer or bar crawl. Not a beer crawl. It's a bar crawl. A bar crawl is where maybe you'll get, and there's so many bars in Cincinnati, maybe get 15, 20 bars, and they all publicize that on this particular day, for this particular time, we're going to do specials. They did food specials and drink specials. And it's called SantaCon because everybody dressed up like a Santa Claus sort of Christmas character. So literally, you got grown folks, primarily younger folks, younger white folks, but there were black folks out as well, dressing up with onesies, all Christmas themed, sometimes going to reindeer, and they just drink and eat all day long and go from bar to bar and drink and eat and dance. I'm just telling you. And do drugs, which is alcohol. You know what I'm saying? That's what Cincinnatians love to do. That experience right there and the concert scene, which is thriving. I mean, yo, check it. The county, the city's been going back and forth. They're about to put 2 music venues on the river. That shit gonna be dope. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope, instant dope. You know it. People are going to love it because now we combining the river, which is an asset here in the Queen City. So you got the river, you got your drugs, your alcohol, right? You got your food, and guess what? Your entertainment in an outdoor venue. That's what Cincinnatians love to do. It's going to be off the chain, as they used to say back in the day, and stop saying for good reason. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be super crazy. Cincinnati's on the come up. But how many African Americans are going to be a part of the Renaissance? It's the only question. But the Renaissance is happening. Okay, got it. Sounds good. I want to make sure I put graphics together for the flow tonight, for the stream. Hey, listen, what are you doing about 7 p.m. today? I want you to check out the Sin Digital Media page. And I want you to check out this podcast, Cutting Through the BS, okay, with our very own Clue Magic and also Fast Pitch. And they'll be talking about a myriad of topics, okay? And one thing is consistent from topic to topic. They're going to cut through the BS and get straight to the point. You can interact with that show on the stream or you can even call in. Be great. Pam writes, good morning, Drop. TNT writes, the Martin family is not happy about the interview. They don't like that he is being given a platform to spread his lies. I know Donnie is going to let him have it, but I'm not sure they are convinced. Oh, is that right? Wow, they're not happy about the interview. That is quite interesting. They are aware of it. Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you, TNT. I mean, I can't say that I'm completely surprised by that, but I think it'll be interesting. Very interesting. Ray writes, Cincy is changing with precision and exclusion. Yes, it is. CG Doug writes, it's taking forever to get Esoteric Brewing, black-owned brewery, up and running on People's Corner in Walnut Hills. Geez, I agree with you. Yeah, it seems like all these other spots come up so quick. Man, listen, when they open up that brewery up there, Walnut Hills is going to be, that little spot right there is going to be one of the new spots. That is a great spot. It's a great spot. Parking in the old Kroger parking lot is available to you. And I see all kind of new storefronts happening in Walnut Hills. Okay. Black Russia writes, I got to go here in the next couple of minutes, folks. Stop lying to the chop. Okay, catching up here. Not the year of the bad black woman. Yeah, he wants this to be the year of the bad black woman. Hell no. I think that sister that cried will suffer some mental health issues. It's a bigger issue than we know. I agree with you, Pam. Didi writes, so you don't see anyone else abusing their kids? That's only because your social media circle may be filled with black folks, but trust, there are plenty of others in jail right now for abuse. This is not a black woman problem. That is parenting problem, sir. Didi, I tried to tell him. As if those are the only images out there. TNT writes, it's the year of the dumb black man. Too many are Trump supporters, quick to defend and take care of him more than they own kids. The year of black men going down with Me Too, preying on young girls. The year of the black man coming out like Tank. One suck, don't make me gay. GTFOH. Now, just to be fair, TNT, Tank has come out and sort of disabused all of that stuff and explained it all. Apparently it was taken wrong and the media ran with it, but sustained. Let me see here. Let me see. Who talking about Kelly? Kelly, who? Never heard of her. 17 minutes with no likes means no one likes that ish. Hashtag alt middle. Is that what it means? I don't know. Angela writes, I ask again, why aren't the same people who said Gabe Davis should drop out in favor of Fanon being the better candidate not saying Kelly Prather should drop out because Alicia Reese is the better candidate? Good point. Explain the difference in one opposed to the other. Good point. I get you. Sustained. TNT writes, so says the one lone wolf with multiple aliases. Fix your life, bruh. That's hilarious. What's the debate about Cat? He did what he felt he could do, and he suffered the backlash of white racism, and then Black Monday morning quarterbacks joined in. I yield back my time. That's from Sister V. TNT writes, police officers using the N-word? Absolutely. Nathan Ivey got hashtag Gang of Five, number 2. That's higher than I suspected he would have ranked him. But it was that important. Well, it wasn't that important. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't that important. But in terms of it being a big news story, yeah, it was definitely a big news story here locally. That's all we was talking about coming into the year, like the early part of the year, and you couldn't get away from that dumbish. TNT writes, FCC pushing residents out, business owners having to relocate. So maybe this is the year of FC Cincinnati. I think that's quite profound, actually. I think FC Cincinnati should be on the list of some of the top news stories. Okay, I'm going to put a list and put out there on social media, see if we can, so people to get everybody to participate. Because, why not? It's the end of the year, so it's a kind of thing you do. How is that making black people's ish better? Not sure. That was at 9:46. I'm not sure what she's referring to. Nate, tell Donnie B I'm coming for her crown in 2020 as the best host for Sin Digital in 2020. Be ready for Getting What I'm Spitting podcast in 2020. Hashtag can't stop my fade away. I'm all about that. I'm all about it. Looking forward to it. Angela writes, Bishop Cousins putting the church on the market unbeknownst to the congregation. Women like New Year too. No, women like Nunu too, but I'm thinking they do not act on it as much. So why are women able to restrain for the new deed, but men don't? Because I think on some ways women can be more loyal. I think it just goes back to biological imperatives. It's just something in men that makes them want to just have sex with as many women as possible. It's just something in a man. And some men are able to, number one, when you're a younger dude, that's what you're doing. Okay, that's what it is. But as you get older and mature, it becomes less important. You know what I'm saying? And then as you get into relationships and make commitments, that starts to take over. But younger men, right, when you 18, 19, 20, all through your 20s, really it never stops, but primarily then, before you get married and before you have these long-term commitments, that's what you're doing. You try to sleep with as many women as possible. That's what I was doing. That's what it is. Now you think that's important to you, and it is important to you. And then when you get older, you look back and think, it was important, but it wasn't that important. It's just what it is. TNT writes, no, you didn't. I wish a mofo would ask me some shit like that. Nathan tripping. Would it be okay if Dr. Ivy asked for a boyfriend that looked like Idris Elba on the side? Would you be okay with that? Idris Elba would be a step down from me. So that's what she's into, but absolutely not. So we already know that. Clue Magic writes, what you're talking about only exists in dreams in Mormon country, Nate. That's not true. That's not true at all. I ain't gonna put nobody's names out there. I ain't gonna say I don't know nobody or nothing, but I'm just telling you. That's not true. That ain't true at all. But that's mostly true. I think maybe like in other communities, maybe not so much in the black community. I don't know. Clue Magic writes, true, there is a correct way to do everything except illicit drugs. Exactly. Good flow. Right. There's only one. Every way to do illicit drugs is bad. You got a syringe in your hands? Negro, that's bad. That's bad. Period. The year of the dumb black man. It's just something about that TNT I just cannot get 100% behind. I must be honest with you. I think it's the black man part. It's that part. But I know you're going back and forth with our good friend Fame, who has mental issues. Renee writes, wow. Women cheat just as much. Women do cheat just as much. It's one of the untold stories. Because the difference is that women will do something and will take it to their grave. And men will do something and, like puppies or some shit, will have to expose themselves on some Trump stuff. Maybe it's because men are more honest than women. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Broadway writes, my wife told me to get a girlfriend. I said, yeah, hell no. I don't to pain in the ass. I don't need 2 pains in the ass women in my life. My hand works fine. I get it. That's funny. Damon writes, a wife and a girlfriend? What man would want to hear how that biatch at the office is hating and pissing them off more than once a day? That's hilarious. Really? Drop writes, prostitution, problem solved. Oh, okay. Just like that, huh? Just like that. The power of the P. Ray writes, did Joe Dieters ever get his address location cleared up with the Board of Elections? A good question. I do not know. Tracy writes, who is the caller? I'm rolling. I don't know. She didn't tell me her name, but you could tell she had a problem with me. Let's see. Mike Jones writes, can you afford a girlfriend? Man, who was that? Sounds like a trick to me. I don't know. I would never call somebody a trick. Tanika writes, who was that caller? I don't know. I didn't catch her name. Ray writes, only men that can afford girlfriends should have girlfriends. I mean, she makes a good point. I agree completely. Tracy writes, crickets. There might have been some crickets in there. TNT writes, well, damn. Mike Jones writes, I never needed money to get a woman. Geesh, LOL. You know, in that moment, I just wanted to go with the flow. I could tell that she really, 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 really has something to say. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and get it off your chest. I never needed money to get a woman. Geesh, LOL. Tracy writes, Mike, you probably need money to keep her. D ain't enough. That's hilarious. Y'all see the new R. Kelly documentary? I think I read that. I'm catching up here now. I'm at 10 a.m. now. See. Still laughing at the last caller. How are you going to help the girlfriend? LMAO. Hashtag count your coins. Right. Broadway Flow writes, that caller was Andrea, a.k.a. 8 years a side piece. Don't say that, man. You are so wrong. You so wrong. You so wrong, man. I'm going to tell her you said that. Nate, you didn't say your phone number enough. 513-873-7134. GAH writes, testosterone, LOL. Tracy writes, this fool said Idris is a step down. Oh, you caught that. I tried to slide it in. I mean, you know, shit, if I don't have confidence in me, who is? Step down. Drop writes, 8 years of side piece is about me before we. Renee is laughing at Tracy. That's hilarious. Ray writes, Nathan, what she said was not logical. Who said? The caller? Yeah, but what did logic have to do with that call? I could tell she was on one. So, hey, you're right. And she is right. If you're going to have a girlfriend, you should have enough money to pay for her. Now, maybe that means dates or whatever might come up. You know what I'm saying? Money for, I don't know, car payment or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what she meant, but I get the point. Mr. Marler, are you going to ban the alt middle from your podcast? Why would he do that? That must be the call of the day, though. That last caller, whoever she was, that's the call of the day. She was pretty funny. Okay, they ran. I think I caught up. So I want to say thank you so much for being here. I got to make a move, y'all. I got a very busy day, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. But before I go, I do want to remind you that the Cincinnati Police Department has open recruitment right now. I am going to post a link for you so you can check it out for yourself. And I really believe that we need people from our community to represent. I mean, again, personally, I believe that we need good men and women to represent for us. Follow the link to start your career. And start a career. All right, there it is. We need good men and women to join the Cincinnati Police Force. I mean, listen, I'll take a good candidate, male or female, from anywhere. And by good, I mean somebody, who's in it for the right reasons and understands that we live in a critical time and that these positions in law enforcement are critical because they engage with the public. And we need to get people to go into that field and represent our communities. I'm in favor of people that live in Cincinnati. But to become a Cincinnati police officer, all you have to do is live either in Hamilton County or in one of the adjacent counties. There it is. But again, living in Hamilton County, growing up in Hamilton County, I just feel like, having law enforcement that came from the same neighborhoods that I came from will have an impact on how they view me. They have an impact on how they interact with me because we came from the same neighborhood. Now, we always know that, we making generalizations, things like that. Nothing is 100%. There's always going to be outliers. But I think across the board, I think we all agree with it. So again, follow the link, share that link with whomever you think might be interested, or perhaps I'm speaking directly to you, and be the kind of change that you want to see. And with that, I've got to make a move. I wish we could spend more time together, maybe rock to 11, but I got to make a move. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much. You could be anywhere in the World Wide Web, but you chose to check out the flows this morning. So have an excellent day. Remember our motto. Remember this motto. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm out.